Walt Disney, a lot of our earlier animated films, he didn't actually create it, he just recreated them and gave them more of a spin to the story. Our classic attractions or stories that happen over and over. Now if you take a look at to your left, you're probably asking, or you may already know, what's going on here. So, as our imagination minds are always thinking of new creative ideas, coming back, we want to keep true to where we are, use those different things. Take a look up to the left, you'll see the forming of Beast Castle. That's where you're going to actually have an interactive dining experience in the Beast Castle. What we heard now, we ever tried to move to reservations in Magic Kingdom? Probably no. Table service is inside that lab. As you can see, north, we created an area of Trent Castle. Also in the Beast Castle, you're going to have an experience where you can enter the library of Bell, where there's going to be storytelling, and then you're going to be a part of the storytelling. So you get to be actually in the library. It'll be really cool. Now again, when you travel over, you'll see Prince Eric and Ariel's castle. This is going to be an interactive ride with the Little Mermaid called Under the Sea. Kind of the same concept if you've been to Disneyland, they opened up Under the Sea attraction there. There's going to be an interactive cube which is going to be 5 minutes, so that'll be really cool. Good thing we rode Snow White Scary Adventure. If you hear it a couple more times, you may want to ride it within the next year. So Snow White Scary Adventure is actually going to go away. So sad. We still want to pay tribute to the heroes of the story and to Snow White, since it was, our first feature animated film. So we're going to actually create an attraction to Snow White's the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. So it's going to be kind of kid-friendly roller coaster with having the heroes of the story play more and more. Once you come back, Snow White Scary Adventure is going to turn into a princess meet and greet, where you can go into the royal house of the princesses and do a special meet and greet. So we're not actually giving it up, but we're changing it a little bit. Now, we're here at the Mini Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Anyone know the attraction that was here before?
Yeah.
Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. I miss it. You go to Disneyland, it's still there. Not sure what the thinking was here. I like to tell the story of once it was going here, guests complained so much, Disneyland didn't want to have to deal with all the complaints. So that's what I like to do. Anyone know the characters that was here in or the characters of Mr. Toad?
Well, Ichabod was there, Mr. Toad, and there was, I want to say the Weasel.
Weasel.
And there's a hedgehog.
Well,
I can't remember everything, but
yeah. So not too many people knew of the story or the characters of the attraction. The attraction kind of didn't give a good impression or good thinking into the real world. How about we just hop into a car, go to a bar, have some drinks, drink and drive, and then what happens? You crash, and then you go to hell. So not really a good idea to give to the young, or the young at heart, right? But just like the characters not in Mr. Toad's Wild Ride or the actual animated film, not too many people knew of those characters. But not too many people knew of the characters of Winnie the Pooh as well. Walt Disney introduced the characters to his daughters when they were young and read the stories from A.A. Milne's stories of Winnie the Pooh. Years after, Walt Disney actually bought the rights to Winnie the Pooh and wanted to come up with a feature film introducing the characters into the American homes. Americans didn't really know unless the British knew, because that's where the stories were told, but not here in American homes. So Walt Disney was going to create that film, but he was thinking, well, if they don't know the characters, they're not going to really get that feeling and get to know the Winnie the Pooh characters. So he created 3 feature films to shorten it so you can incorporate those beloved characters into everyone's life. Christopher Robin, Winnie the Pooh, all those beloved characters. Tigger, one of my favorite characters. So the first feature that they filmed was Winnie the Pooh and Honey Tree. Anyone know that? You may not know, you probably have seen it, just didn't know. Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day was the second one they featured, and then Winnie the Pooh and the Honey Tree. Now later on, we combined those three stories and where we came up with the mini adventures of the Winnie the Pooh. Now just like in Snow White Scary Adventures, we still use those techniques here in Winnie the Pooh, so we want to stay tribute to those simple techniques. But we know as time changes, as decades go by, new technology is getting worse. So you're going to see some new technology that's being used, but still staying tribute to the simple techniques that Walt had in mind. Now if you journey on over to Peter Pan's Flight, same thing, same dark attraction, just the same concept as Snow White Scary Adventures. You can also see some of those effects being used in the Haunted Mansion. Also, if you go to Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin, use a lot of flats and a lot of black lights. Now, he introduced those stories to us in 3 snippets, but then we came up with this whole 90-minute cartoon animated film. How do you think we can get that story told and you can live those experiences or those short parts that you know of those stories into an attraction? We could probably build a 90-minute attraction, right? But if you take a look into it, you wait what? About 45 minutes to an hour for the attraction. You go onto an attraction for 90 minutes. Probably sometime in that 90 minutes you may fall asleep or lose interest, right? And then you come out, that's basically almost your day. You're probably gonna get to ride one more attraction here and that's it. So what we like to think of our attractions here are like the cliff notes of the movies. So we take those pieces of the stories that you know, that's true to your heart, and put them into those attractions that you'll see, whether it's Hubble Umps and Woozles, or the Blustery Days, or the flood scenes and such like that. So we're gonna actually go ahead and ride the mini adventures, but we're gonna get into Honey Pots. But I want you to also look into the attraction, not just if you're riding, look all around you, look up and down, see those simple techniques, and see some of those things that may have changed from when we built Snow White Scary Adventures, as well as moving forward here. Now one of those things that we did do different from here, we want to immerse you into the story from beginning to end, so that you can feel a little more into that story. Now you ask, why do we call them attractions here at Walt Disney World? Well, Walt Disney World is a big storytelling, a big book that we hear. As cast members, we portray that story, we tell those stories. We get on our attractions. Now, if you go to local carnival or fair, you get on rides, right? You know that's rides. You go through the line, you get on a 2-minute ride, and then you're done. And then you get back in. Well, we like to do it a little bit special. We want to immerse you into that story really fast, so that's where we're incorporating our interactive cues. You'll see them popping around every now and then. Starting here was our first one. You'll see at the Haunted Mansion, which is our newest one, and then soon to be our newest one was Peter Pan. We all know Peter Pan. Something to do with that ride, right? If you ever waited in Peter Pan, you know it's a long ride. It's a little misdeceiving because you don't realize it goes around the building until you get there. So we're gonna go ahead and go through here.